All right, Quadabble here on my friend's account, Loken Keybray, and what we're doing today is he is on the mission for this gentleman, Ramantu, and he is at part 310 of 469. So he needed to get past these clear stage 25 of the Ice Golem's Peak 10 times on auto. And sometimes these are just no fun to play with. So I thought I'd create the videos or create a video that showed how we can quickly get through some of these sets. He already beat stage 21. So I'll go into stage 22. I'll test it out with the team he's on, but who knows? It might not work. It might work. We'll see. But we'll give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. His account is older than mine, my main account, but at the same time, he's got champions that I just wish I had. I do not have Martyr. I do not have... The one out of these that I really want is... this guy right here. I can't think of his name. It's driving me crazy. Anyways, I need him for my clan boss team. I'm using... For my budget unkillable team, I'm using Rosin Scarhide, and I want him to take his place because he does what Rosin Scarhide does. His damage is based on attack, not defense, and his he also places all those poisons, which is really good against single bosses, clan boss, and some of the other Doom Tower bosses. We'll run through this and see what he's got going for it, and we'll see. A lot of times what happens for me is you're too aggressive, meaning you kill or you lower the health points of the Ice Golem before you can kill the two side champions. So if you have a lot of AoE champions, a lot of this times it won't work. That's what I learned that a long time ago, attacking the first ones. And a lot of single hit champions usually get you there further. He's got a good reviver. He's got decreased defense, increased defense. He's got all these great abilities. But at the same time, if he's killing them too fast, then it's like they're all going in and counterattacking. So maybe the counterattack is a bad idea. So I could easily take out Martyr and get rid of that counterattack. But that's the thing. If you do too much damage to him too soon, see that was an AoE hit, he's going to hit you really hard. I believe it's one of his passives. The extra... each attack ignores 50% of the enemy's defense for each ally alive. So right now when he did that, he had an extra 50. He ignored 50% of it, and so then I died. So the counterattack, I think, is what's messing him up right now. It is powerful and it's used in a lot of locations, but if you counterattack him before you can kill the other two, so this might simply be take out Martyr. So I'll go in and edit that real quick. I'll pull out Martyr. And then increasing attack from this point of view is usually not a bad way to look at it. So let's see here. This one is Arena Battles. This one is Faction Crypts. This is Accuracy and Faction Crypts. And this, of course, is Arena. So... let's see, he's got some great champions. This one, attacking all dungeons by 34%. It will extend debuffs. So just simply changing this might be enough. There's still a few AoE hits out there, but I won't get all those hits in there. So let's just see if that was enough. It's void, so there's no, I don't have to worry about any particular color or anything. So we'll go ahead and see what's going on. So right now, like I said, all we're trying to do is beat levels 22, 23, 24, 25, and then we'll work on a better team at 25. My skill level, I'm just trying to get all my my attacks done so I can meet my accomplishments. and I struggle at getting things 5 minutes or less. So these teams aren't designed to beat these at the level 25 because there's a lot of new rules that are obviously tougher. He's got the champions. If I had to say anything about this account, it would be the debuffs. Excuse me. When I go to make armor adjustments to this account, not everybody is always working in their faction crypts, and that can be detrimental. So, with that being said, I'm working on this champion right here. This Vizier, I think his name is. I had him for a while, but I started working on him here recently. So come into this one. Of course, I have a Revive champion. Now, if I'm going for Revive champions, a better one might be, and it's the only Void legendary champion I ever pulled from a Void Shard, is Roglin. She might be better for this because her cooldown, she only raises one person at a time, but her cooldown is a little bit better. The other thing is, I believe he has champions that can kill. So there's a few counterattacks in there, but they're not like crazy. So I'm just trying to get him down. Another thing that was brought to my attention is when he does get a turn and he poisons himself, he might pass those points. He might skip a few of those. So now I can go in and just devastate. Frigid Vengeance wiped me out completely. So higher defense. All right, so I'm going to go through, play this a couple times, and then I'll come back and show you where I got in this video. So, all right, hold on a second. So this is for stage 22 of Ice Golem Speed. Hold on a second. Okay, so we got here to the end of stage 3. I got Roglin, Sepulchre Sentinel, Madame Cirrus, Rosin Scarhide, and Hellier. And all these champions, I think one of them has 2,500 defense, but the rest of them are like 3,000 or higher, and I kind of picked that on purpose. I don't have a lot of high-end damage dealers, but at the same time, we're not trying to beat this. In fact, what I'll do is make sure we take out this guy for sure, because I don't want to take him out, or lower his health anymore. Hellier seemed to attack him, and I don't know anything about these guys' these champions, like skill sets. I think they're all booked, but and they probably all have a really high masteries, but I haven't double checked that. So right now I'm just trying to utilize their high defense to get through this, and I'll select one at a time, making sure that they're always fighting them. Sepulchre Sentinel is really good. I use her as my clan boss, and she has a once per turn she can block all damage as an ability, not as a buff. So every time she attacks or has her turn, she resets it, and then she can block one person's damage. I think it's a 50% chance, but I'm not sure. Now, in AoE hits, it doesn't really make that big of a difference, but in the fact that she puts decreased attack on the main boss is really good, in my opinion. So now we'll face him, but we're only going to take one hit from the frozen, what's that thing called? Frigid Vengeance. We're only going to take one hit from Frigid Vengeance, and no decrease, missing that decrease attack. Now, these champions, like I said, are not built specifically for this. They just have high defense, and most of them are over 3,000. I can review their stats if this works. But this is the play that I would go with, at least through levels 22, 23, and 24. And of course, you have to beat it on auto 10 times for the stage 25 for the missions. You can manual these. You can probably do a heck of a lot better manualing these than anything else if you're trying to get past it. Man, that Madame Cirrus has low accuracy, which is terrible, but she has high defense. She was really good against the ads getting up there, but all I really want on him is a decreased attack. just, I don't want to sit here and change a whole bunch of armor out, and I believe Sepulchre Sentinel's getting the job done really well. So nothing too crazy. And these take a long time. This is taking 7 minutes. This video is a little bit long for this part, but at the same time, you're just trying to get through these. So high defense, turn meter reduction. I wouldn't color code any turn meter reduction as you're going. It's reduced, I believe, by 50%. And then you're going to go through 4 or 5 colors. So here's that big attack. It goes through, hardly did any damage. So I'm going to focus on this guy over here and, again, just get through it. Raws and Scar Hides decrease turn meter, works 100% on the side people. I don't know why. They must be counterattacking. I don't know why they're attacking that person, because I have the focus over here. Maybe it's glitching or something. So I'll put this back on pause, and I'll show you what the end screen looks like and how long it took. But again, we're just trying to beat this. We're not trying to beat it with finesse. Maybe there's a color in here that I have some champions that could really do a good job for farming purposes. But anything over 5 minutes is a waste of time for farming, honestly. Because you either do it at night when you go to sleep, and hopefully you got 30 or 40 battles overnight. But anything over 5 minutes is really hard to consider a farming speed. But these are the levels that give you the higher ability, and you only get rank, just like level 20, you only get rank 5 and 6 gears. So again, I'll put on pause and we'll see what happens. All right, so we're coming down to the end of this battle. Nothing too exciting. 12 minutes, terrible time, honestly. But at the same time, going to beat it. I'll review the champions. It's interesting because I don't feel like I had as many Frigid Vengeances, but maybe I'm just used to level 25 when you're attacking him. And we picked up some defense gloves. Normally I'd sell these, but he might want them for some of those accomplishments where you have to sell $5 million worth of artifacts and accessories. So, all right, so we beat stage 22. We're going to try this exact same group, and it's against red. So it should work because it's just about as good as void. Everybody's void or red. As far as the champions go, I'll really quickly just show you a little bit what I meant by what they were wearing and stuff. So you can see Roglin is 3,000. Hellier is 4,000, almost practically 5,000. Rosin is 3,500. Accuracy is only 215, but her defense is 3,500. And then Sepulchre Sentinel is 2, 3, almost 4,000. And then I think all the skills are booked. Masteries are good. Masteries. And then skills. Skilled all the way up. All the way up. All the way up. And I think I looked at her a minute ago, but she's all the way up. And of course, Sepulchre Sentinel, I think we looked at it a second ago, and she's all the way up. So you can see nothing too fancy. I just go ahead and hit start. I'll put it on pause again. That way we're I'm not eating up a whole bunch of time. You can see against the red, it's pretty much just going to be just as good as void. Some of the champions are different. These low-end champions are different, but at the same time, it's just going to take some time to get there. So I'll put it on pause, and I'll show you the final boss. Okay, so this one seems like it got to the end a little bit faster, probably just due to the difference in the champions that I was facing. Again, I will put a focus on one at a time because I want to make sure they kill them. And then one other thing I was interested about was it's 80, 60, 45, 30, and 15. So that's 5 Frigid Vengeances. So I'm wondering if somebody's ability or if they like took some damage from a non-direct source that prevented them. So what I'm going to do is pay attention and count how many of these HP hits for the Frigid Vengeance activate and see if something special happened last time. So it's just a kind of a rinse and repeat, the same team as last time. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on pause, and I will come back in a minute. But I'll keep track of the Frigid Vengeance, and I'll let you know if something strange happen or something. So, and this is stage 23. So one of the neat things I find interesting about this is the computer. So I stopped selecting one or the other, and I've been running it just let it go to see how it does. And I find it interesting that the computer has figured out that even with one guy on the side, it'll avoid the damage. But then at the same time, I just only visually saw 3 of the Frigid Vengeances. So it should have almost attacked 2 more times toward the end there. But at some point in time, the computer realizes that, hey, I went past the 15%, and then I know I won't be attacked. So let's see what I get. Some HP gloves. I'll just leave those in there for Loken Kibre to sell later on. That was stage 23. Coming into stage 24 is green. So now I have to deal with 3 of these champions being a little bit weak. But I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot, see how it works. I do have Roglin. I didn't even need to revive at any of that point in time. So just having a strong defense, these champions' defenses are so high that I'm not even having a threat. I'm taking out the biggest hits, and everybody's living through all the punches. So I'll go ahead and get this one rolling. I'll attempt it. And like I said, all we're trying to do is beat through level 24. And what's interesting, I believe that means that level 25 will be blue. Magic, and then this team is strong affinity against magic, and maybe we can just with this team that we threw together, we'll hopefully be under 10 minutes, and maybe we're going to find it down to under 5. So then it's at least 5 minutes for 60. You get 6 attacks, or how does that go? 12 attacks. Excuse me. You get 12 attacks. So hopefully. This will cruise through and just blow this out. Now remember, these champions are weak affinity, 3 of them are. So I'm expecting a little bit of death, but Roglin's void. Everybody's got high defense, and hopefully we'll get her done. Just get it done. So I'll go ahead and put this on pause and save you a few minutes, and I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so that definitely took longer to get here. And again, we're not going to do any adjustments. We're going to let this thing go completely on auto. But this is probably going to take 15 or 20 minutes, so again, I'll shorten it up. I'm going to count the Frigid Vengeances again and just see if I can see what's causing him to skip it. There's no reason that his Frigid Vengeance should activate while at least one of these are alive. It won't happen while both of them are alive, but... So what this does is now it smartly organizes it. And you saw Sepulchre Sentinel attack this guy, and that's because he didn't have a decrease attack on. So it does help to leave them alone and let them go about their own things. But I'm also noticing I have a lot of duplicates in here. So I have 2 people putting decreased defense on. I have 2 people putting decreased attack on. And I only have 1 person putting the weaken on, but at the same time, that's a spread of 3 champions, and I think what I'll do is I'll make a change on the next one to see if I can fix that up a little bit. So it's supposed to be at 80%, and I don't know what's going on around that. So you try to estimate, okay, well this is 50, and there's about 45, and there might be about 60 here, maybe here, you figure 2/3, and then 80 should be right here around the P. So I'm gonna, or this one passing. So I'm gonna kind of wait until it gets down there and see if it activates. With their defenses so high, though, I'm really not worried about Frigid Vengeance. So with him attacking and putting on their different debuffs and stuff, it's not really that big of a deal. But I just want to see if something's happening that makes him skip the 80, because I think that's what he did last time. Is he skipped the 80. I don't remember it happening. And I know for sure poison, when poison inflicts damage, it doesn't activate the Frigid Vengeance. So there's possibly the 80% mark. I mean, really looks like the 80% mark. So there's a Frigid Vengeance, one. That one didn't activate till somewhere in here. So there's one. And that's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to figure out if something weird is happening. Because again, if we look at that Frigid Vengeance, it should happen at approximately 80, 60, 45. So if we look at his turn, this is right around the 50% mark because there's a line here, and I kind of use those as an edgement. And these are quarters, so you figure 1 quarter, 2 quarter, 3 quarter, 4 quarter. This would be 75% right about here. So I just could have missed it. I could have just missed it. I'll go ahead and put it on pause. So any time now it should come across with a 60%. 80, 60, 45, 30. But I'll go ahead and put that on pause and I'll bring you in toward the end. So as I'm coming back into it and you're seeing this, I passed that 50% mark in not a second. So something made it skip the 60. There's the 45. So definitely hit the 45. It came in. They'll take care of the side champion. So as it shows, this is 50%, right around the 45%. But the 60% somewhere in here did not activate. And I didn't see anything that would have done anything. So the next one's 30. So if you figure if this is 25%, 30 should be somewhere in here. So we're just going to leave this marker right there and we'll see what happens. But I'm interested in knowing if there's something I'm missing, and that would be a nice... I know, like I said, poisons definitely will make it skip that and possibly HP burn, but there might be other effects that are not doing quote-unquote direct damage. So another thing to think about when you're choosing champions for Ice Golem is try not to choose champions with area of effect A1s, because they end up damaging the Ice Golem too fast. And then he gets to hit with all the other people with extra avoid 100% defense and possibly freeze your champions. But it looked like I missed the 60. I got the 45, I got the 80. So we're probably right around 40% right now. So we've got to lose another 10% to see that 30% come in. And again, these are just time consuming. So I'll go ahead and put that on pause, and I'll remember right about there for that 30. So I'll put that on pause and bring you back in a minute. So all of them hit except for the 60, and I might have missed it. You know, you're staring here watching this and things go by. But I got the 80, the 45, the 30, and the 15, but I'm pretty sure it skipped the 60. But I could be wrong. But once that passed, now the champions know that they can go and attack directly on the Ice Golem himself, not have to worry about it. And this is one nice thing about Helyor is he not only cleans, but he can take all the debuffs and then put them on whatever champion he wants to. And in this case, he'd put it on the main champion. But that's level 24. Now that took 18 minutes. That's a long time. But again, we're not trying to farm. We're just trying to make an accomplishment. So level 5. It's weird to see rares come up there. It's like you come all the way up here to have a better chance to get stuff. But here's the final champion, and it is blue. One of the things I noticed, as I was saying, is between these 3 champions that are covering each other, and these 2 champions are both my cleaners. So I think what I'm going to do is, this is a decrease. Let's see, this is a decrease attack. So I'm going to keep her, and she puts the block buffs on, and she puts on the other attacks. What I'll do is, it's got to be 10 times on auto, so I just don't, all you have to do is not take it out of auto. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and attack with this and see if it goes through, and I'll let you know at the end if it worked or not, just for the first time. But there's some ideas that I have for making this go a little faster and possibly skip a few on purpose, skip a few of those 15s. But I'll go ahead and attack, get in here, and I should be a lot faster because they're weak affinity colors. Take away all the turn meters, put on a decreased defense, decreased attack on everybody, and then start coming in with a few AoEs that you do get. Nothing too crazy. But I'll go ahead and put this on pause, and I'll bring you back in when we get to the main champion. Okay, so you can see that that was a terrible time frame getting here. I don't think any of these champions are made to do a ton of damage, but they even have the affinity bonus on 3 of them. So this is a tough level. It's just time consuming. So if this team works, what I'll end up doing, and I just want to verify on this, 80, 60, 45, 30, and 15. So again, the same amounts. And he transferred the debuffs and did kind of a wipe, which is nice. And if you don't have Roglin, this is a blue affinity, so Seal of Drakes would be a comparable exchange. She even heals every round. She'd be nice. Doom Priest would be nice. She heals every round, clears a debuff every round, and puts increased attack on. So these are all ideas that I'm kind of thinking I might put on here, and then try to hit it, put in a couple, check to see what Loken has for. So once I get here, if I can get that definitely under 5 minutes, I guess the first goal would be to get it under 10 minutes for the whole thing. But at the same time, I want to try to, let's see here, I'm going to write these down, 80, 60, 45, 30, 15. I'm going to check them off as we go. So I'm looking for 5 hits. I want to try block revives. He's got a lot of good champions in here that could potentially have the block revive skill. He's got, again, champions I don't have, but with those in there, I could possibly at least get to this point and never have to worry. You know, it's time consuming taking out these 2 guys 10 times. So with that being said, if I can wipe one out in the first round and then wipe one out before the second Frigid Vengeance, then after that it's just direct damage to the boss and I don't have to worry about it. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to go ahead and put this on pause, and I'll be back toward the end to show you if it was successful or not and what I do to try to remember these teams. Okay, so I was watching this one, and right around the 80, Sepulchre Sentinel got a hit, and she also decreased turn meter, and it did not happen. So I don't know for sure exactly what happened, but I was watching in the whole time this time, and right around here there was none. Now over here we should be seeing it anywhere now. Any second now it should activate for the 60%. So there's the 60%. It skipped the 80. I guarantee it skipped that 80. The only thing I saw was Sepulchre Sentinel attack and do the unless I'm completely off. Now the 80 should be over here, the 60 is here, the 45 is here, the 30 is around here, and the 15 is somewhere in here. So yeah, it definitely skipped the 80 and went to the 60. So I'll put it back on pause and I'll be right back. Alright, so we're coming to the end of this. I marked down who all hit, and only Sepulchre Sentinel, when she attacked him, and it was approximately that time frame, she did that decrease turn meter reduction. So that was the only thing that I saw in there that could have possibly explained it. Hellier hit 3 times, Rosin Scar hit, Hyde hit 3 times. Look at that, a defense percent. That's not too bad. These are terrible. They usually get better as you farm a little more. This is a terrible glove. Just sell it. I'll let him do that. All right. So then I go into edit team, and I want to save this team. I don't want to do anything. I just want to save it to make sure that if I do make changes, I don't have to write this on paper or anything. So I'll go in here to team setup, and I'll cruise on down here, and I'll just start at the bottom. And it was Roglin, Rosin Scarhide. Where is it? There it is. This one for shield. This one. Now, she could be your leader if you don't have Roglin, and then you could also use Seal of Drakes, because the only difference on those two, as far as the revive, is just one more cooldown. So if you have Seal of Drakes, you're going to replace that, and then this could replace your team leader unless you have somebody who can do defense better in that. And then the last one, what was that last one? All right, so what I'll do is I'll close, I'll go back and look, and it's it's Hellier. And the only reason I put Hellier in there is because he has like 4,000. It's like crazy. So I'll go in here and I'll add that Hellier in there, and then I'll edit it, and I'll just put what is that? Ice Golem stage 25. I'll just put Ice Golem 25. So that way it saves it, and then you don't have to worry about doing that again. I'm going to run through on this video a little bit more. I'm going to make some changes and get to the end a little faster. Now, those were 20-minute runs. Those were terrible, but they do get the accomplishment done. And then you can, what I do, because I can't really get a farm team under 5 minutes on some of these harder ones, like Spider. I'm still having difficulty on Spider personally. So what I'll do is make a level 20 team. Like this is 25. I can put my 20 team right here, and that's how you can kind of utilize these open spots. Unkillable team, that's the one I helped him build. And then these are just other teams that were created for different areas. You just have to kind of name them so you remember what they're for. So I'll go ahead and end this video, but what I might do is add to the end of this some faster times for level 25. But this would work. This would get the accomplishment done. And like I said, I just picked champions with defense over 35 or over 3,000, and I tried to have a defense champion put their aura skill in, or a defense aura champion as the team leader. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on pause and play around with this and see if I can get this under 10 minutes, if not under 5. So hold on a sec. So I had several attempts in here, and I tried Drakemorph. That's who the character was. I tried Drakemorph instead of Rosin, but not enough defense. Did everything Rosin does, plus adds the poison, but didn't get it done. Vizier of Elis was really good, and I skipped several of those because they poisoned through on the Frigid Vengeance. They skipped at least 2 of them on this one attempt, and you can see it was over 20 minutes last time. I got it down to 13 minutes and 38 seconds on this one. I'm going to try putting my own team together, but I don't even remember what my level 25 team was on mine because I pretty much just do level 20 because I can't get the speed under 5 minutes. So it's terrible for that. But I'll try to get them a team under 10 minutes, making some adjustments and whatnot. But putting the poison on and then having Vizier of Elis do some spreading and then adding to it, I think was a good touch. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this team, and I'll add another attempt on to get a lower amount. So hold on a sec. So I tested this a little bit earlier. I'm still getting here in like 5 minutes, but it's still on auto, still doing the straightaway. And I brought in Vizier, and I brought in Elinarel. And the reason I brought in Elinarel was because she puts 2 poisons when her turn comes around, and then she puts on HP debuff. But you have to remember that you have to pretty much auto battle them, and when you have to make them part of a team, and then you have to take out that ability to wipe out all the poisons. They fixed it on the clan boss, but they didn't fix it anywhere else because you don't really want all the abilities. It doesn't work across the board everywhere. So to make Elinarel work here really good, you had to turn off or don't use her ability later on. And then now it just kind of everybody works together, and I'm going to run through this whole thing, but I'm pretty sure that because there's poisons and HP burns, that it's going to skip all of the percentages. Occasionally I might get hit by 1, but I'm using Vizier's ability to skip or to spread those poisons and decrease defense debuffs and all that stuff too, which is a good ability. Now this gets kind of hairy it gets a little low, and I don't think this one would be 100%, but the first time it ran all the way through and I didn't lose, but it does get a little bit close. So increasing this to some extra HP debuff or something. So this is where it's going to get a little scary right here. But you can see all those poisons and stuff coming on. Okay, there was a revive. So the looks like the 45 went in, but it skipped the 80 and the 60 due to the fact that HP burn and poisons were going through. And I'm hoping this is under 10 minutes. The first time I ran it through, everything worked really good, and I didn't revive anything. But this time going through, I'm really worried about. I mean, if I lose Roglin, I'm gonna lose because I don't have anybody to heal or revive other than her. But we'll see what happens here. So the next one was the 30 mark, and if she takes enough poison and HP burn, I think she skipped them both. But we'll see what happens. Because if they just start attacking her, they skip the 15 also. Yeah, so it worked out good. So there's your HP burn, your poisons. So HP burn and poison skips the percentage hits because they're not direct hit. They're damage caused by debuffs. So 8 minutes and it looks like maybe 9 minutes tops. So this is a heck of a lot better than that 20-minute one that I made up earlier. But again, you put this on auto battles, there's a chance that Roglin might die. So increasing Roglin's HP or something like that. So the idea here was to get it under 10 minutes, and then I'm doing this for the missions down here in auto battles. So I went and did it 3 times, got some higher end items. There's other improvements I can make, but this is without making any changes to anybody. And Alinarel, all I was really trying to do is get a poisoner out there, and she's a poisoner and a damage HP burn debuff placer. And if you go back, I'll show you the team. That's the wrong spot. I'll show you the team that I put in there for him, and I'll name it for him too. So go in here and go to this team. I'm going to leave both teams in there because if this one fails for some odd reason, even though this one takes 20 plus minutes, it's still better just to be able to do it for the mission. And then with a team that works, you can always work it through. But poison and HP burns seem to be the best way to get through with this. And Alinarel, she puts 2 poisons on everybody, which means that when Vizier does his ability to spread debuffs, you can take debuffs and put more poison debuffs on somebody else. So even though the Ice Golem had poisons on him, because the debuff spread worked to add more, it was a good skill to use. But I'll call this one Ice Golem 25, and I'll put I think this is how you say it. Less than 10. I'll put less than 10. I think that's how you Ice Golem. Less than 10 minutes. So I'll go ahead and save that, and I'll send this over. And like I was saying, with Alinarel, she has that combust skill where it basically wipes out all the poisons, and it only does damage from 2 poisons. I think that's because on her smolder ability, she only places 2 poisons. So if you put this in a do not use feature, that would be great. I put the mastery, I made this one go first because I wanted to not use the debuff spread first. So, and then Accursed Blades, obviously they'll go in with the duration increase. That happens. And he's booked them. I haven't. So this is a 50% chance. So there's a good chance 1 or 2 of these are going to hit every single time she does this. So, and then Vizier Poison spreads it. And if she spread 2, or at least had 2 debuffs to spread, she'll put a debuff, a Perfect Veil, which is a nice protection item. And then, of course, she comes into each round with a Perfect Veil on. And then, but yeah, make this go first 1 time. It's the opener. at the first of the round. So as long as it's available, that way it doesn't do a blank debuff spread, which in this team, she's the fastest, or he's the fastest. Everybody else I pretty much just put in standard, no big changes. There's nothing really to change here. These are all good. And this right here is my original team, and I just put in that Vizier, Ovelis, and Alinarel, which will spread all the debuffs. That's the Vizier does, with the decreased attack from Sepulchre Centner, the decreased defense and the weakened from Roz and Scarhead. Vizier puts on a block debuffs, a 100% heal reduction, and a decreased attack. So all those skills, it's not very good to get them on the Ice Golem, but there's that block debuffs and heal reduction, but 6 or 7 poisons plus the HP burns just skips all of those. So in that last battle, only the 45% hit, and then there was enough poison and HP burn to skip 30 and 15. So that was a really good feature. This champion I can't really change because this is part of his budget unkillable 3-key team, and he's going to work on a 2-key team, and I might get a Lineral back. But so Vizier, Ovelis, and Alinarel were the 2 that I added to the original team, and then these all have over 3,000 defense. But Roglin is such a great healer. She can keep up with a few deaths that happen, and it works out good. So it was under 10 minutes, and it was due to poison and HP burn. So if you can get those on the main champion using other champions, those would be great skills too. But I'll go ahead and save that in case I made any changes. I can't use that character, so hold on a second. I'll go ahead and I'll just have to retype it. Ice Golem 25, and I'll just say 10. That way there's a difference for it. I hit save, and that way he'll be able to finish off all those attacks. So let's see. With that one being said, yeah, 3, and he's only got 9 more to go, and then you can see he's working on other things. I might come back in later with. I think he said he already took care of dragons, but who knows? We'll see what happens and get them for there. Myself, I'm a little bit over here, and I'm working on 20,000. I'm working on the 20,000. What is that? 20,000 points in tournaments. So, all right, well, it's a bit of a long video, but I hope this was helpful in helping you make a team to get to Ice Golem level 25. Have a good one.